It is now recording. I'm going to put this down.
Good morning, everybody.
All right. And here we go. Welcome back to Fishing for Real People. As promised, I have a special guest on my show today. Full disclosure, this is my father, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that threw the switch when God said, "Let there be light." And we're here to talk today about trout fishing in Tennessee. So you grew up, you're born in California, grew up here in Wisconsin, taught me how to fish here in Wisconsin, retired and moved to Tennessee. So what is it about trout fishing? What attracted you to trout fishing?
Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, before I get started with that, I'd like to give a shout out to all our veterans. My wife and I are veteran supporters. We love the people that serve our country. We will never take for granted the freedoms that we have purchased by your effort. So first and foremost, we want to say thank you for your service. Trout fishing, well, the only type of fishing I really knew here in Wisconsin was the way my father taught me, and that was to put a bobber on a line and throw the hook out into the water. Sometimes you put bait on it, sometimes you didn't. It was more about relaxation.
It was, go out and a cooler of beer and maybe bait the line, maybe not bait the line. Yeah,
it was all about just sitting and relaxing from the stresses of the day. Now, trout fishing, I want to specify we're talking East Tennessee. I think that what most people...
Sevierville, Tennessee and east-ish. You don't really go west of...
No, I don't go out of the valley of East Tennessee. When you talk about trout fishing, I think the thing that most people envision automatically is somebody with an uber-long fly rod with hundreds of feet of line whipping back and forth, and then laying out across some very broad open river and just laying that fly out there, things like that. The problem that we have where I am is that's not the picture you're going to see. We have very narrow rivers, a lot of growth up and down on each side. At best, you might be able to throw out 3-4 dozen feet of line versus 100 or 200 feet of line.
Oh, you're not getting a couple hundred feet of
line. On some of these big, wide open Midwestern or Western rivers, with 1,000 acres of plain field behind it. I think you see the picture. Especially the further up in the mountains you go, it's very, very rocky. The rivers are narrow. So it's a different type of thing. Why I got into it was the initial question. Again, going back to my youth, the piece of it. I walk up and down a few shorelines, find some spots, find a cut in the rocks where the fish hang out, throw out upstream 20, 25 feet, let it go downstream, find those trout, and bring them in. It's very calming early in the morning. I see some of my best friends, a sandhill crane that has spent a lot of time with me eyeballing up my fish, ducks and geese that fly by and they just are watching what I'm doing. That cool fresh air early in the morning. It's very relaxing, very calming. And then you get those fish anywhere. Mostly rainbow trout. There are some brown trout that I've tangled into, but 14, 15 inches. And then you get those 24, 25 that
you wouldn't think they grow that big up there. Granted, a lot of them are,
full disclosure, they're stocked.
Not all of them, but
no, not
all of them, but yeah, a good majority of them are stocked. But still, you do have those naturally occurring ones up there too. And then,
especially further up into the mountains, they are smaller, but very, very tasty. You bring those things home, put them on a smoker grill, and you just kick back and watch the sunset over the mountains, and that's what you call a day.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you find as far as lures or baits works best for your area?
What works best are power bait pellets or the paste. You put up on a 4 or a 6 number 6 hook with a split shot. One thing that we found with the trout there is they do not like swivels or snap swivels. Mm-hmm. You tie right onto the line with a split shot. That is needed because especially in the spring, currents are very, very swift. Split shot to get it down a little bit. Snap swivels, they see those, and you can fish all day long and nothing will happen. It is strange. Those fish are smart. There is a power bait worm, a 3.5 inch, I believe. Orange works very, very well. And for some reason, every now and then, they just don't like anything artificial. The pink power bait pellets, first, orange, second. I've never had luck with green. Okay. And then the day that they become finicky, good old fashioned night crawler.
Yeah. It's weird that you say that they don't bite on artificial stuff. I've caught a few trout here in Wisconsin on this. I know I always talk about this, but these shad fries in the purple death color. I've caught a few of them in rivers. Nothing very big, but I've caught 3 or 4 smaller ones in a couple rivers around here, and then one actually pretty decent sized one in a lake. I haven't caught any on Michigan yet, but it's funny that you say that they don't bite on anything artificial up there.
Well, the power bait pellets, and then those worms.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, they won't bite on anything else.
Okay. And you haven't ever tried fly fishing up there?
No, I am not a fly fisherman, and that is an art, and a lot of extra equipment. What I'm about is what I appreciate your channel is about: real, every pun intended, fishermen.
Yeah.
The thing is about being able to go to an inexpensive store, buying good equipment, but something that is not going to break your bank. I think most people fit into that category. And just being able to go out and have a very good time with decent equipment, but no boat involved, no big screens for depth finders or things like that. I think I am going to invest in a pair of hip boots. Again, the rivers are very impassable or traversable, I think is the way I want to say. It's dangerous to walk out into some of these things. So you really need to stick to the shore. There are times where I want to step out a little bit, especially when the water starts to go down some, but in the early spring, the current can be very, very dangerous.
Okay. So I know that you live close to a reservoir up there also. And do you ever get out and, like, as far as the trout go, do they ever get into the big reservoirs, or are they pretty much isolated to the rivers?
There are some trout in the reservoirs. There are a number of reservoirs very close to where I am.
Yeah.
There are some trout in there, but that's not what the reservoirs are known for. The one closest to us is a bass tournament lake. It is one of the top bass tournament lakes in the country. So that's what they're there. A lot of catfish in there. And then the locals, we like our crappie. One thing I want to point out,
a big crappie here is a pint-sized crappie there. Yeah.
If you get an 8-inch crappie here, you'll have that thing mounted hanging on your wall within a few hours. There, the minimum keeper is 10 inches. Routinely, I've latched onto a 14-inch. A guy next to me caught a 16-inch crappie. Talk about a nice, tasty slab of meat.
Right. Around here, that's unheard of. Yeah, you guys grow them bigger down south. I get it.
So that's what we do. However, gentleman standing next to me,
Gentleman is a very
the one thing that I'm going to start getting into is bass fishing.
Mhm.
There are a lot of bass in those same rivers that I'm trout fishing in. So he's setting me up with the ability to go out after some of those. When you come down and visit, or anybody for that matter, I want to be able to go out onto the lake or onto the reservoir and go after some of those big smallmouth, and they are big.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. What is it? The Pigeon River there, I believe it is one of the biggest tournament destinations for smallmouth. I believe that's correct. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out and trying to do that.
There's the Pigeon River, the Little Pigeon, and the West Prong. That's where I get some of my trout, and maybe I'll share some of my secret spots. But
yeah, no need to do that. Yeah. So trout, after you catch them, you obviously keep most of them. So do you? You mentioned smoking earlier. Do you smoke most of it? Do you just fillet it? And
I do not fillet. Some of the bigger ones I'm going to start filleting. There is, on a 24-inch trout, there is a lot of meat. My wife and I very much enjoy it. Smoking, I have a low sodium brine recipe. I struggle with sodium, and we just smoke it and peel that off. Tastes good in a lot of different ways. Take some leftovers and make patties out of them.
Oh yeah,
a lot of different things you can do with that. I do just clean them as they are. Some people don't like the heads left on them, so I have to take that off.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Right.
But that's what I do with them. Freeze dry them and call it good.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything you wish you knew going into trout fishing that you know now that you wish you knew then?
That's hard to say. Type of line, again, my fishing experience was very limited. Again, just a basic pole, closed face reel, monofilament line. There is a difference in fishing line. That's something that Justin can help you with. Modern improvement in line technology makes a big difference. Hooks, you can fish with treble. The problem with treble is you get a small fish that maybe you want to throw back following that treble. Now you're keeping it because it's going to be dead when you throw it back. So things like that. Line, to answer your question specifically, line type, I think is a real big advantage to know that technology and have the right line on your spool.
Okay. And you said you fish mostly with monofilament. Is that?
I had. Now I'm changing that over, thanks to you.
Yeah. To the P line, fanboy. Yeah. So, but I mean, it works great. So yeah, switching over to the P line. For you'd said the bigger fish, do you find that you need a specific pound test? One works better than the other, or what is your?
I think I use exclusively 6 pound.
Okay.
But just like any fishing, if you get a big fish on, you just work it differently.
Yeah.
You don't horse it. You let it run, you let it tire, and you bring it in. And that's the key to no matter what you're fishing. A little bluegill up to a giant ocean marlin.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Fish it, reel it in accordingly.
Absolutely. All right. Is there anything else you want to say about East Tennessee or your trout fishing experience?
I just to circle all the way back to one of the things that we said earlier is just this type of fishing is so calming, so peaceful. Just helps you to focus on the nature in front of you, listening to the running water.
Escape from the craziness of
life sometimes. I don't want to use that word escape. It's just calming down. The world's going to be out there. It's a nasty world, but how can you just go out and take a very deep breath and enjoy who you are and what you're doing, and find a balance of the craziness of the world and the calmness of nature and that river, and enjoy it. That's what I like the most. That's what drives me. The taste of the trout is certainly helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, it's something that I can do without a lot of cost. There are key elements. Let's go back to that line. A decent rod. Fly fishing, again, I see that as pure art. I don't know that I want to get into that per se, but that is an option for a next step up in some different things.
Yeah, I've tried fly fishing. It's an art, and my old man, hats off to all you fly fishermen. Holy cow, you guys!
Nice haircut.
Yeah. It's getting a little long. Yeah. Yeah, it's an art. It's an art form, fly fishing. I haven't mastered it yet, so but
and it like any other sport, wherever you are, make sure you know the rules of the land.
Oh, absolutely.
Time frame, catch limits, everything else. Just do it right, and it will be great. But that is critical where you are. Again, where I am, there's the open land, and then there's the Smoky Mountain National Park. There's the park land, and there's a specific bridge on the river that is a cutoff between the two. Different restrictions, different limitations. So know where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Always important. So, all right. I think with that we'll sign off. And thank you everybody for watching, and hope you enjoyed a little bit of this. And we'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
Thank you.